time-sensitive airdrop announcements, token claims, as well as alpha across DeFi ecosystems that we're mostly bullish on. Let's get started. Starting with the most time-sensitive of them all, SatLayer Foundation is launching what they call Slate Drop, and it's basically an airdrop of their token for 10% of the supply. The goal is to accelerate development of new economy on Bitcoin. Also, they're going to be rewarding users in many categories, mostly the early users of the program, but also people who have participated in Bitcoin LSTs and Bitcoin Layer 2 ecosystem, as well as Babylon stakers and many other categories in which we will get to later. The snapshot for this is going to be on August 9, and by that time you also have to register, otherwise you're going to miss out. There is an additional 4.2 million Slate tokens that are going to be up for grabs for liquidity provision until this date. And one very important thing to note that it's also people who have participated in airdrops such as Lombard, Solve, Bedrock, or Lorenzo who are not eligible directly through SatLayer might be eligible for Slate Drop as well. Also, Babylon, of course, as the exclusive restaking partner in SatLayer, has some eligibility. So make sure that you check if you are restaking with Babylon. Finally, there's a small percentage going to Kaito ecosystem as well and OKX wallet users too. And another token airdrop coming from Infinity Labs. They're launching a campaign where there's going to be 50% reserved for community and airdrops, but only 5% is going for the initial airdrop. As for the token utility, they're going to be the standard protocol fees through staking the in token. And of course, there's going to be some discounts for their usage on the platform. There's going to be priority access for exclusive features, as well as gated access for KOL strategies. Finally, they're also going to have higher rate limits in case you're actually using the platform to generate prompts and test LLMs. And finally, if you have an ENS domain, you can turn it into a website by simply pressing a couple buttons on this user-friendly website eth.box. You can speculate about some future ENS or eth.box airdrop for this activity. Moving into Solana ecosystem, Solana Seeker phones have started shipment on August 5th, and you will check your email to check your tracking and make sure that you get yours in a timely fashion. They're going to 50 plus countries and depends what time you get yours. Also, the Seeker token airdrop is not going to be directly dropped to your wallet, but instead you will be able to use the dApps on Seeker to actually get some Seeker tokens, or if you're a developer, you can also build dApps on the Seeker infrastructure and in that way generate some secret tokens. There is a very nice flywheel going on here, which I will leave in the links of the description. But TLDR is that if you have a Solana Seeker phone, make sure to actually use it if you want to secure a bigger airdrop in the future. They are taking a Monad-esque approach with those mini dApps. And speaking of Monad, there's also going to be maybe TGE on September 29th. This is, of course, very speculative, but they did announce that one of these three things is true. Either there's going to be total supply of 100 billion or max supply of 100 billion, or launch on September 29th. Now, seems quite unlikely in the next 2 months, but we will see at the end of September. Now, whenever a company raises tens of millions of dollars, especially from the likes of Polychain Capital, Coinbase Ventures, or Polygon, that is usually a good sign to start paying attention. And one such company is Billions Network. They are trying to bring on-chain data and proof of humanity on-chain and reward users along the way. Keep in mind that companies are paying a huge and hefty sum for your data, so you should not be selling it lightly. However, projects like these are still not diluting the market too much. So if you have an Android or Apple phone, you should be able to start generating rewards through Billions Network. Also, it does help that they are one of the number one mindshare on Kaito over the last couple of days, overtaking even Monad at certain moments. Now, regarding Hyperlane, we also have about 10 days to qualify for Season 2 pre-claims, so make sure to do that if you're eligible for Season 2. But a lot of our users have had questions and concerns. How is it exactly to qualify, or how is it to unstake the tokens? And this is what we're going to do right now. So if you have some SD Hyper, you will have them on BNB chain. So you'll have this on Binance Smart Chain, and you will actually need to select this token on Use Nexus, so their flagship product, and you have to find SD Hyper and then bridge it to Ethereum. That way, you will actually be able to find your tokens on Ethereum mainnet, where you will go to app.symbiotic.finance, and here you will have to go into the withdraw tab, where you will find your ST Hyper on ETH. Keep in mind that this bridge costs about $3 to $4, so if you only have a couple ST Hyper, it's not going to be worth it. But assuming you have at least 50 to 150, then this would make sense, considering that Hyper has actually been performing pretty well over the last couple of weeks. Of course, if you want to stay updated with all crypto topics and all tricks of the trade, it is the easiest to do so in a private community of experts who understand this field and do it as a full-time job. One such Discord is ours, and here you can find many different topics from both Hyperlane and many other ecosystems. We are farming both for airdrops and DeFi perspective. If this is something that interests you, you can always check the subscriptions tab of the official channel, and this is always going to be in the first link of the description of every video. Here you will find monthly, yearly plans for both Discord and an airdrop tracking application that will help you keep organized. Also, the NFT collection doing 5 to 10% a yield per month is going strong for almost a year now, and we're looking forward to next month's payout very, very soon. All right, now let's take a look at some best DeFi opportunities on SUI, Sol, and HyperEVM as of this week. We have first Suiland, which is offering a beautiful looping strategy, doubling your money almost for free because, of course, while this is risky, you still have a huge discrepancy between deposit APR and borrow APR because the Walrus lending currently is heavily incentivized. Same goes for Deep. You can get a 30% APR on your deposits while only paying 8% on your borrows. This is, of course, single token asset. So in theory, it should be risk-free. So it should actually come as no surprise that the pools are filling up very, very quickly. And if you want to diversify your smart contract risk, you can also check out Bluefin because they have similar looping strategies. However, the APRs are nowhere near as competitive as for numbers on Walrus and Deepbook on the previous platform, Suiland. Okay, after doing some preliminary research, it does seem that this might be Anzen Finance, but the logos don't match at all. So definitely be careful and don't just chase crazy looking numbers because that is usually a recipe for disaster. Now, regarding some Sol farms, of course, we always have tried and true Meteora. We've covered this many times already. You can always check your points, of course, which are live, but most importantly, in the pools section, you will find everything from super safe Sol USDC pairs to very risky 24-hour fees ranging in triple digits. And finally, a true hidden gem on Sol, we have PancakeSwap with recent developed deployment on Solana. Here you will find some really safe pairs such as Sol USDC or even Sol Coinbase BTC, which should even be more correlated for less impermanent loss, offering everything between 200 and 35% APR all the way to 502 at today's ranges. And finally, a quick glance at HyperEVM ecosystem. Of course, fees paid are still dominated by Hyperliquid, which is generating almost 3 million daily. And of course, there's many other smaller platforms, such as the ones from before we mentioned many times, Felix, HyperFi, Hyperland, and many others. APRs are mostly the same, so if you want to go from an airdrop angle, you should go a little deeper down the risk curve, and one such could be Hybrid Finance. Again, very small DEX, but potentially an airdrop angle here. And that is a wrap for airdrop and DeFi updates for today. If you like the content, make sure to like and subscribe with bell notifications on. Any questions, comments waiting for you in the comment section and in our Discord. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have an amazing day.